Okay, good evening, everyone, and I'll call this meeting to order, the regular council meeting of Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Members of the public can be present in council chambers during the meeting, but also public members can observe the meeting via Zoom, and the link is also on our city's YouTube website. First item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda, and the recommendation before you is that the agenda for the regular council meeting be adopted as circulated. Councilor Martin and Councilor Wilson, all those in favor? Carried, thank you. Item number 2 is the adoption of the minutes, and the recommendation before you is that the minutes of the Governance and Operations Committee meeting and the regular council meeting, both held on September 23rd, 2024, be adopted as circulated. Councillor Hanson and Councillor Wilson, thank you. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And tonight we have a delegation from the West Kootenay Toy Rental Association, and we have Brendan Prue and Jeannie Tellier. So if you want to come to the podium. I do need you to state your name and your address, please.
Brendan Prue, 1378 Birch Avenue, Trophy.
Yes.
Jeannie Tellier, 2867 Broadwater Road, Robson, BC.
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, thanks for giving us a few minutes of your day. Unfortunately, there's only 2 of us attending. Bonnie had an accident, she couldn't make it. So my name is Brendan Prue. I'm currently the president of the West Kootenay Toy Rental Association. Jeannie is our secretary. She's also our longest standing member. Our purpose today, it's come to our attention there might be some misinformation floating around about who we are, what we do. We've been operating for so long, we just assume people kind of know what we do. So we just want to share some information with you with the intent to clear up any misunderstandings and make sure you are in the know. So who we are, we're a committee of volunteers from multiple communities in the West Kootenays. Our committee has anywhere from 5 to 12 members. Our executive consists of a president, a vice president, a secretary, a treasurer, public relations officer, safety representative, area representatives. Due to the numbers of volunteers that we have, our duties ebb and flowed over the years. Some take on different responsibilities, different positions as needed. We meet once a month and everyone's welcome. Riders, non-riders, young, old, retired, whatever it may be. So we work all year in preparation for one day, the toy run. We start in the spring by purchasing a new bike that we raffle off every year. We file applications for permits, licenses. We organize and buy insurance for our association, the event, the motorcycle, trailer, everything. We apply for and do reporting to BC Gaming, and we also apply through different communities for permits. Our constitution reads, the purpose of this society to promote a toy run in the West Kootenays annually, with the proceeds being distributed to the Salvation Army or after a decision of a general meeting to some other needy charity in the West Kootenays. Our funds are raised by selling tickets for a motorcycle. The cost of the bike usually takes about half of that proceeds. The other half of what we raise is donated to charities and food banks around the West Kootenays. We attached our 2023 donation list. Some of the communities we donate to are Trail, Cascar, Nelson, Greenwood, Roslyn, Castle, Grand Forks, Fruitville, Selmo, Slocan. We also do 5 $1,000 bursaries for the high school students. Safety is kind of our first priority. We have Santa who leads our ride with 2 other elves. He rides at or below the posted speed limit at all times. We have a chase vehicle that follows with our bike trailer. in case anyone breaks down or has a flat tire, we can make sure they get home, which we used this year actually for the first time in a long time. We have flaggers that have volunteered for over 35 years to be sure we are safe going through intersections throughout our route. We now have hired a flagging company that has volunteered their services to support us. She did a lot for us in Cascar this year. We have an insurance policy that covers $5 million for the day of the toy run. And it names Nelson Cascar Trail on it. We're greeted with enthusiasm for what we do as we move the bike around to all the local communities, businesses, advertise tickets and sell tickets for us. Businesses have asked to be included in hosting the bike. They've offered donations, been very complimentary. We're greeted by members of the community as we park the bike in front of the business, confirming the date, ticket costs and informations. Our members are constantly thanked for their time and effort in supporting our local community.
My name is Jeannie Tellier. This is what we've done so far. We have been in operation since 1988. For 36 years, we have sold raffle tickets in our community, starting in April each year with the help of our local businesses. We draw for the motorcycle after touring our local community the first Sunday after Labor Day every year, about the toy run. In the past, we have the Castlegar Lions Club raise money for projects by selling breakfast to our riders in the morning of the toy run. The Castlegar Special Olympics would raise money offering dinner at the end of the day. Unfortunately, the Lions Club and the Special Olympics groups have folded due to membership numbers, but we thank them for the support over the years. Registration happens both in Castlegar and Nelson. It costs our participants $20 or a new unwrapped toy. The toys are donated to local Salvation Armies for the Christmas Happers, Castlegar Harvest Food Bank, and Salmo. We have also been told that our event is the kickoff for the Christmas fundraising events. In Castlegar, we are usually escorted through town and out the other side by the fire department or RCMP, depending on the year, and as long as they have no call-outs. We are always allowed to supply our own flaggers until last year, 2023. Now they require professional flaggers. In Nelson, the community and city police support us by blocking Baker Street and the intersections coming in and leaving Nelson. The Nelson Special Olympics help with registration and directing traffic on Baker. Salmo Fire Department sells us our lunch, toy run, on our toy run day to support us and raise money for their own Christmas initiatives. And they also donate money back to us. In Trail Special Olympics groups hand out water bottles in the mall parking lot. In the past 35 years, we have been allowed to park on city streets with our experienced flaggers, and we have never had an accident or even a close call. RCMP would even block traffic at some locations, in particular the intersection by Safeway and the hospital. We blocked streets in 2023 and we blocked streets in 2023, assuming we can continue as we have in the past, until one of our members was stopped and informed we can no longer do that. The following day, September 11th, 2023, our president called the detachment to try clear things up, but was unsuccessful.
Over the last couple of years, there have been more and more permit requirements. In preparation for 2024, and because there was a confrontation in Trail in 2023, Bonnie sent a letter to the mayor and council of all three of our largest cities asking for information that was dated October 4th, 2023. Dear Mayor and Council, the West Kootenay Toy Run has been in operation since 1988. We have enjoyed being able to donate in the neighborhood of $30,000 yearly to the food bank, charities, and community groups supporting kids and families, as well as the toys that are donated to 4 local Salvation Army groups for their Christmas hamper programs. We also provide bursaries to our local high school students. In those 35 years, we have enjoyed an unbelievable level of support from our local communities, businesses, fire departments, city police, and the RCMP. And couldn't do what we do without them or our volunteers. We appreciate you all immensely. The last couple of years, there have been more and more hoops to jump through. We have insurance for the event, but found out we needed more to go through Nelson. We bought more insurance. We have experienced flaggers, but this year we needed professional flaggers to go through CASA. We got professional flaggers. We've had the fire department escort us through town. We've had police and RCMP help us block traffic through intersections until last year. We were stopped from blocking traffic in Nelson by RCMP. This year, one of our volunteers was threatened with a ticket for blocking traffic and trail. He was told he was breaking the law, and just because we donate a few toys doesn't give him a free pass. And they were told they would be out next year to enforce traffic laws with tickets. Do we disrupt your towns? Yes, we do. For about 20 minutes once a year with flaggers blocking traffic to make it as quick and as safe as we can for everyone. Can you imagine what would happen with 200 plus bikes going through your town without flaggers, without blocking traffic? How safe would it be? How long would we block side streets? Our volunteers work hard all year to organize our toy run. Nope, we don't get paid. Nope, we don't get perks. We donate our time, work hard for our communities, and want to continue. But it's hard when the rules keep changing, and it's impossible when the goalposts move without notice. Help us help our communities. Please forward any permit, license applications, or new policies we need to be aware of to our address. The response Bonnie received from Trail Deputy Corporate Administrator on October 25th, 2023, she was given a link for the highway use permit special events. Bonnie filled out the necessary form and gathered all required information, multiple pages of information, maps, drawings. The last step was to get a signature from the line that read municipal approval. Bonnie sent the package off to her contact in Trail on January 17th and received the following. The City of Trail is unable to provide approval unless you are able to demonstrate that you will be obeying all traffic laws, as anything less than that is not supported by the RCMP. It is also questionable whether this can be classified as a parade, which moves at a very slow speed. Bonnie replied that she was confused. We were told we needed a parade permit. We were sent the link to apply for a special event permit. We have to follow all the traffic laws. Why do we need a permit? The reply, the city has no jurisdiction regarding a provincial arterial highway, so cannot provide municipal approval. That is why you were referred to the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure permit process. The city also does not support the blocking of intersections of any street that intersect the arterial highway. Therefore, for the 2024 toy run, we worked hard to be sure to tell all our participants that we had to follow all the traffic laws through Trail, with the hopes that we notified everyone there would be no accidents, that this is the first year of the change. There are times the traffic is stopped for events in Trail, for instance, Silver City Days Parade, travel on both city streets and the highway, and in order to do that, traffic needs to be stopped. What do we need to do to get approval to do that? What would qualify us? Thank you, City Council, Mayor, and staff for the opportunity to share information with you tonight, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. I think you guys all got a list of the donations we made. We actually just got a letter today from the LIUNA Local 1611. I'm writing to express my support for the West County Toy Run and the incredible work you and your team do for children in your community. Your dedication to spread joy and support these in need are truly inspiring. Please find and close a check for $500 as a donation to support your cause. It was a pleasure meeting you and your team at our meeting in Cascara. I hope this contribution helps you continue your valuable work and brings happiness to many children. Sincerely, Nav Malhotra, Business Manager, Secretary, Treasurer. So that was nice to see that today.
Thank you. I don't know, does council have any questions before I? Okay, well, I do want to thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for, I know you put a lot of work into that presentation. And you're right, your organization does give a lot of donations to so many groups that need it at this time. And in the surrounding communities as well, and I know you are making a difference. And I do appreciate the fact that you do put so much effort into safety and it's a priority for, you know, your members. And honestly, council does support the intent of the program. But for us, when we apply for a permit for a parade, it's the same as you. We have to go through the Ministry of Transportation, that goes through the police and goes back down to us. So the process is not any different for us than it is for you. I don't know, and I don't know if Ms. Lucchini can add to this, but we have no idea what happened last year for the holdup of the permit. But I'm glad you're here tonight, because you're obviously starting it again and earlier this year. So if there's something that happened last year that you can pick up on and improve for next year, that would be great. I don't know if Ms. Lucchini wants to add anything to it, but honestly, we have to go through the same process, so.
Right, but part of that process is having the municipality sign off the application. And when we're being told that they won't sign off on it, we can't continue that process, correct?
Yeah, and my understanding it was because the police wouldn't sign off on it.
Correct.
So I don't know what happened there.
Right,
Yeah,
but I'm not understanding why. Like, there needs to be a reason from the RCMP why they're not signing off on that event, but will sign off on a different event.
yeah,
Like, if it's a speed issue, we can do 30 kilometers an hour, we can do 20 kilometers an hour through town. We can work with whatever everybody needs. It's not, this is what we want and we, you know, this is the only way to do it. We're here to work with everybody. The city, the RCMP, we need professional flaggers, we need, you know, a speed that we need to follow, whatever it is. We're willing to work with everybody to make it happen.
okay. So I would suggest then that you would reach out to the RCMP again, or reach out to the Ministry of Transportation again, and just see what the process looks like this year. You know, we would, if we had a traffic issue, something that we had to block off, we would have to go through the same process now. And we try not to block off the side streets during the Silver City days. I mean, we use that one circle for that reason. So you know, I don't know what to say, Brendan, but I think you have to start the process over again this year through the Ministry of Transportation, and we'll see what happens with that, but we're under the same stipulations as you are when we apply for a parade permit.
Right, I think a lot of what happened and why this came to your attention was the backlash online.
Online, yeah.
And I personally tried to stop that. Like, I didn't know if you guys were aware of the situations, like, of our permit process and all of that. And people were just getting mad to get mad. Like.
Oh, we know.
But I did watch the last meeting with Mr. Lucinovich, and it made me really upset myself. Personally, I felt attacked by Mr. Lucinovich. I actually almost resigned. Like, I'm not sure what I ever did to him, or for him to talk about myself that way, but yeah, I don't know if I'm the right person to go talk to him, so.
Oh, Councilor Benson?
Just a question from like curiosity, when you have to apply for a similar permit through like Castlegar and Nelson?
Yeah, so we applied for a parade permit from the city of Castlegar. And that has changed over the years, and it was actually, I think, maybe 2 years ago, and it was actually Sam Matanzio, the fire chief, that was like, hey, you need to have a parade permit if you want us to help you. And we didn't know that, right? I think we've been doing a lot of things just because everyone's been doing it for so long. Like, I went to the toy run in 2005. We parked downtown right outside Ferreros. That's where we parked. I didn't know any better. I didn't know that we need parade parade permits. I'm flying by the seat of my pants when I took over this position. So I'm just going with what I know, what I've
What we
experienced.
have been doing.
Right, what I've
Right, yeah.
experienced. So we get a parade permit from the city of Castlegar. They required us to get flaggers this year. Maybe even last year, I think we did as well. And
We had our own last year with
Mhm.
that, with them being in the
with-
trail.
With them being, yeah.
Yeah.
So we had professional flaggers this year at all the intersections through Castlegar. Fire department did guide us out again and actually tailed us as well. The city of Nelson requires a special event permit for Baker Street. They gave us 2 intersections, and then they actually the police chief sent his members down to the main intersection to make sure we got out safely.
Counselor Hanson.
I was just wondering, are there any other municipalities, I guess, logistically, that you block off and the only access from an RCMP station or both accesses to the hospital?
We're not technically blocking anything.
Well, it would be blocked off for the time that you would be going past
If
it,
there
right?
was an emergency, everything would stop. Right? If there was an ambulance coming, there was a fire truck coming, a police officer, like any other situation on the highway, everyone would stop. Like, I would be really embarrassed as a 17-year member of a fire department that if people didn't stop their fire truck. So I would hope,
Rules and regulations for those.
yeah,
Thank you. No, I just was thinking logistics for other
Yeah,
communities.
no, it's 100%, if anything's going by, we definitely will.
we've been stopped by the train before, in Castlegar.
So I really want to thank you for coming tonight and clarifying everything with us. But I do think that you have to start with the Ministry of Transportation again. And like I said, I appreciate the fact that you're here early. So we know that you're in the process early, so I just wish you good luck with it and, yeah.
Good,
Thank you.
Okay?
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Yes, you too. Okay, so I see no one here for public question period, so we'll move on to item number 5, communications. And I will pass this over to GM Butler.
Thank you, your worship. Through the chair of council, 138 Reservoir Road, was a house fire December of 2023 and has remained in the condition that you see the pictures attached to your agenda for that period of time. We were working with the mortgage holder at the time because we thought that's where we could get the best action to get it cleaned up. But since then, we have been notified that the mortgage holder is washing their hands of the property and leaving it up to the actual property owner to deal with. So we are stuck again coming to a winter where we have a lot of debris and a security fence, which they felt was appropriate, which is chicken wire, which I would say is not appropriate for the state of that house. So what we are looking at is, for timeliness, is getting these, the resolution in front of you tonight for unsightly, and that will allow us to remove all the loose debris. And then we will be going, to do remedial action to actually take down the structure. So this is the first step in 2 to hopefully get the building down. That doesn't mean that we won't be trying to get compliance with the owner at the same time, but we're just asking for your support so we don't have the structure standing all winter, because as you can see, it's very dangerous.
Any questions for Ms. Butler before Councilor Hanson?
Has the owner been in contact with the city trying to work something out and
I-
they just didn't have insurance, or is there?
I spoke with the owner last week, and yeah, we are. But time's of the essence, I would say.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll read the recommendation. So the recommendation before you is the unsightly structure 138 Reservoir Road. The recommendation, is that pursuant to the provisions of the unsightly premises bylaw number 26692008, it is hereby resolved that the owner of lot 19, Plan NEP 1306, District Lot 1073, KD, be notified to remove or repair the exterior of the building that is visible from the roadway and remove other debris within 30 days of receipt of this notice to do so. And be it further resolved that the corporate officer of the city of Trail be authorized in default of the action being undertaken by the owner within 30 days of the notice to do so, to carry out and have such work carried out and the expenses charged to the owner, and if unpaid on December 31st, 2024, the expense shall be added to and form part of the taxes payable on the real property as taxes in arrears. Councillor Martin, seconded please, Councillor Benson. All those in favor of the recommendation? Thank you, that was carried. Item 5.2, the proclamation request for Foster Family Month. The recommendation that council proclaim October 2024 as Foster Family Month in the city of Trail. Councillor Hanson, Councillor Benson, all those in favor? Thank you, that was carried. On to our council committee reports, and Councillor Benson, you're up first.
Thank you, your worship. So two committee reports for me, one on the OCP, public engagement last week. There was two. One was the Amazing and Aging event, and then the open house at the Aquatic Center. I attended the open house at the Aquatic Center, and we welcomed over 100 people to walk through, look at the different maps, and vote on what their priorities were for our community. There are also two OCP meetings with the OCP committee, one focused on mapping and the other one on policy and procedure. So we have, we've made very good progress on the OCP. I just want to remind everyone to complete the online survey before October 28th or pop into City Hall to pick up a paper survey. And for the Trail Ambassador Program, their first meeting is being held on Tuesday, October 22nd from 6 to 7:30 at the Selkirk College building, and all students in grades 10 through 12 are welcome. That's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Benson. Councillor Butler.
Nothing to report this evening, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Cashel.
Nothing to report, Mary Jones.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cashel. Councillor Hanson.
Thank you. Just a small note of gratitude. We had an airport event with the Chamber of Commerce in Pacific Coastal a week and a half ago, and I just wanted to congratulate the Trail Original Airport staff, coastal staff there, as well as Claire Samuelic on the fabulous work that they did, putting the incredible event, bringing a bunch of businesses and municipalities and stakeholders together. It was a wonderful event, and the hard work did not go unnoticed.
Also to you and Paul for putting on such a great event.
Thank you, Councillor Hanson, and Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mary Jules. Excuse me. On September 24th, I attended an RTD West Kootenai Transit Committee meeting in Trail. There's an update from BC Transit as to the ridership numbers and how the overall usage of the transit system is slowly getting back to pre-COVID numbers. West Kootenai Transit will be coming to a future council meeting to provide an update on the Trail Transit Exchange. On September the 25th, I attended an RDKB policy and personnel meeting. Reviewed the following policy updates: the director's remuneration and director's travel and expense reimbursement, which was followed by a closed meeting. Excuse me. On September the 25th, I attended an RDKB Board of Directors meeting. Delegation from the Kootenai Employment Services to the request for funding for the Kootenai Columbia Agricultural Forum. There were various development permits, update regarding the mutual aid agreement between Big White Fire Department and the Joe Rich Fire Department. And work plan update for the following services: general governance, building inspection, regional solid waste, emergency preparedness, and 911 emergency communications. September 26th, attended a Trail Historical Society meeting. Reviewed the treasurer's report, museum and archive manager's report, collections coordinator's report, and the society's AGM, which will be held on January 23rd, 2025. On October the 3rd, attended an RDKB liquid waste management plan meeting. There was an update on the Columbia Pollution Control Center upgrade, and construction is moving along. On October the 9th, an RDKB utilities meeting. Reviewed operational reports for the following services: Beaver Valley Water Service, East End Regional Sewer Service, Christina Lake Water Utility Service, East End Water Utilities, and the Christina Lake Solar Aquatic Operations report. On October the 9th, I attended an RDKB board meeting. We had an EOC update from Mark Stevens, who's manager of emergency services. With all the activations because of the fires, he provided a verbal update to the board. Deputy Regional Fire Chief Galmore is applying to the UBC of the 2024 Community Emergency Preparedness Fund. It's a training and equipment grant for volunteer and composite fire departments. The RDKB is applying for a maximum of $120,000 to assist the following departments: Woody Boundary Regional Fire Rescue, Christina Lake, Beaverdale, and Big White. So there'll be $40,000 for each fire department for their training. On October 15th, this morning, I attended an RDKB East End Services meeting in Trail. There were presentations from Community Futures, South Kootenay, and West Coast Kootenay Transit. That's the transit committee, the West Coast Kootenay Transit. And that was again followed by another closed meeting, which I can't talk about. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Unless it's a closed meeting.
Thank you, Council Martin. Council Wilson.
Nothing to report tonight, Your Worship, thank you.
Thank you. I just have a couple of events that we've been attending the last couple of weeks. I also wanted to comment on the work that the OCP is doing right now. I think we're really, with all the members on the committee, I think we're doing a really good job of bringing all the issues and priorities to the front and having really good discussions on some of the ideas, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this project come to fruition. It's just it's going to be something that our community has been looking forward to. So a couple of events that I have attended, and the first one was the 44th Engineer Squadron 75th anniversary. It was so much fun. The event was to recognize the 44th Engineer Squadron that has been in the city of Trail for 75 years. And our role as the city was to reaffirm the freedom of the city for the squadron, which I read out. And after the parade of the troops, I was honored to conduct the inspection of the troops, who were with rifles and bayonets and full combat uniforms. It was quite exciting to see, actually. Everybody was so proper, it was great. The Trail Pipe Band and drums were also there, and they were included in the march. And then after the parade, there was an open house for the public, and they had a barbecue and had all their machines on display, their heavy equipment, their guns. I think that caught the biggest, most of the kids were at that, was trying to pick up the guns and, aim it, and it was really fun to see. At that time, at the open house is where we signed, myself and Councillor Hanson as my witness. We signed 6 Freedom of the City Act, and one of those scrolls will be framed and sent to the museum in Vancouver, and one will be sent to the city. So, and that evening was a formal dinner was served, and there was lots of toast made, and stories of their history were shared, and it was really an honor to be a part of that event. Last week I attended a roundtable with international students at Selkirk College in Castlegar. Myself, Councillor Susan Heaton from Castlegar. The representative from Nelson City Council couldn't make it in the end, so it was just the 2 of us. And most of the students in this international class were taking business courses, and some were there to improve their language skills and upgrade their math skills. And what was interesting though, is several of the students were healthcare workers. One was a pharmacist, and others were small business owners in the country just trying to upgrade their business certificates. Of the 16 students, 2 were from Philippines and 2 were from Ghana, and the rest from India. They're really excited to be here, they love being here, but they were telling us that after their courses are done, they probably have to go back home because there's no housing for them. And they're really struggling with the transportation and how difficult the bus system was, and there's not a lot of employment opportunities for students. So at the end of the day, we were there for a couple hours, and at the end of the day, I offered them a ride back. Anyone going back to trail a ride, and there was a huge applause in the classroom, and 4 students took a ride with me. So it was great to get to know them on the way home as well. And then on this weekend, we had the 100th anniversary of the Sisters of Colombo. And just a little bit of history on that, February 3rd, 1924, 87 women of Italian heritage in the trail community responded to an offer to formally organize as the Sisters of Colombo and look after the specific needs of Italian women. And even today, we see their dedication and commitment to our community through a lot of the work that they do out there for the community. And it was a real pleasure to be a part of the celebration on behalf of the City of Trail and just to support this milestone. And I want to thank Councillors Butler, Councillors Benson, and Councillor Wilson for being a part of that as well. And just a public service announcement, just to remind council that October 19th is the last day to vote. So exercise your democratic right and vote, but also at the same time, if you haven't had your COVID shot or your flu shot, you can get that done after you vote or before you vote, because then we have a clinic at the arena. And I think that's all I have to report to you.
Alright.
Any questions?
No.
Oh, okay. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have 4 items there. And the recommendation is that the items of the consent agenda be received for information. Councillor Martin and Councillor Wilson, all those in favor? Carried, thank you. Any new business? Oh, sorry, Councillor Benson.
I was gonna comment if we could pull up the item from the consent agenda from the skills center.
Oh, yes, right, okay. Okay. So, the request is for a letter of support, and you're asking for that to be.
I guess in terms of process would be to pull it out from the consent agenda. I make that motion to discuss further.
Okay, all those in favor? Oh, okay, Councillor Wilson?
Don't just making that, do you need someone to support that motion?
Oh.
I did a second.
Yeah, I was seconding
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Benson, go ahead.
I see that the skills center requested a letter of support. Did we vote on if we could pull this up? Did I vote?
Made the motion, I seconded it.
Yeah.
And then you vote on it.
Okay, all those in favor of pulling out the request for a letter of support? Okay, anybody opposed? No, okay, go ahead.
Their letter stated that they're gonna be renovating the storage area of their building, and they wanted a letter of support.
Okay,
So I figured we should pull it up and discuss.
thank you, Councillor Benson.
And so I guess the motion would be for staff to send a letter of support to Skills Center, which they provided a template for. If someone can second it, I'm gonna discuss.
And Councillor Hanson has seconded it. All those in favor? Carrie, thank you. Any new business? Department reports. The bylaw enforcement department report for September 2024. The recommendation is that the report be received for information. Council Butler, Council Wilson.
Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
Moving on to, like, I like above where it says like last year's year to date, and I was just wondering if we could do something similar for the business licensing, if we could see a year to date compared to last year, just so that we can see metrics. So,
We should have it.
okay, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of the recommendation? Carried, thank you. And item number 10 is adjournment. Councilor Hanson, Councilor Wilson. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Sure.
Thank you.